Surveyed 50 of his classmates about their favorite meal from the cafeteria. The results are shown. Based on the survey, determine how many of the 300 students in the school chose pizza or hamburgers as their favorite meal. So what would we do here? This would be a proportion because I see classmates and I see students, and then I see hamburgers and pizza, and I see hamburgers and pizza. So we would set up our proportion. It wants to know how many kids chose pizza or hamburgers. So I would have pizza / hamburgers on the top over students on the bottom. Okay, so in the first segment, when it's talking about pizza and hamburgers, it says or, so we would add our pizza and hamburgers. So we want to know how many pizza or hamburgers do we have? Well, we have 12 students that like pizza and 17 students that like hamburgers. So I would have 29 students overall because 17 plus 12 gives me 29. And then how many students do we have at first? We at first had 50 students. And then, do I know how many students like pizza or hamburgers in the second half? No, because it's asking me. Do I know how many students? Yes, it says 300. I'm going to scale for this one. I go from 50 to 300 by multiplying by 6 because the 5 to 30 is times 6. If you need to cross multiply, that's fine. I have 29 times 6, which gives me 174 students. For the next one, it says Nancy rented a car for $75 per day. Which of the following representations does not show this relationship? So we need to figure out which one does not give us 75 whenever we find either the M or the K of it. So like you just look at these and you're like, oh, I know how to find this because this right here is a table. And when you see tables, you draw your arrows. Remember, we do our bottom number minus our top number. So we would have 150 minus 75. And that would give me 75. And then here we have 3 minus 1, and 3 minus 1 gives us 2. So we have right side divided by left side because this is a table. And that would give me 75 divided by 2, which gives me 37.5. That one's not it because as she said $75 a day. That's not $75 a day. For this one, I would say, okay, so I know on 0 days how much would it cost because she hasn't rented the car at all. $0. Well, day 1, how much would it cost? That should cost $75 because she did it for 1 day. Now, 2 days, how much would it cost? $150 because we just add another 75. So we're just adding 75 for each day. I need to make sure I have these dots here. So I have 0 and 0, so that's good. I have 175. That looks like it might be 175 because it's a little bit below the 100, but I can't be sure. So that one's a maybe. And then I have 2 and 150. If I look right here, this is halfway between that 100 mark and the 150 mark. So that one's good. So this one is good. And then this one, it says y equals 75x. So there's your 75 right here. So it asks which one does not show this relationship. That would be the table. All right, right here we have a missing side. What do we do when we have a missing side? We set up a proportion. So I have, this side matches with this side. So I have 40.5 equals 54. And then I would have this side matches up with this side. And remember, same shape goes in the same ratio. So I would have x over 44. We solve proportions by cross multiplying. So I would do 40.5 times 44. And that gives me 1,782 equals x times 54, which gives me 54x. We divide both sides by 54. And that gives me 33. On this next one, I have an equation. So first step, line through my equal sign. Second step, shield my negative 3x. Now I just shielded a negative, so what happens when I do that? I flip. So this flips to face this direction. I flip my inequality symbol right here. How do I get rid of positive 17? Negative 17. And then I draw my line, drop down my negative 3x. Remember, we flipped because we circled a negative. These right here are same signs or different signs. They are same signs. Same signs add or subtract. They add. 13 plus 17 gives me 30. And then remember, I keep the sign of the bigger number, so that gives me a negative. Divide both sides by negative 3 now. That crosses those out, gives me x. Then I have a negative divided by a negative, which gives me a positive. And then I have 30 divided by 3, which gives me 10. This one says there are 50 jelly beans in a bag. 1/5 of the jelly beans are blue. 3/10 are green. The remainder are yellow. How many yellow jelly beans are in the bag? So here are my strategies. First, I know when I have stuff like this, it's asking how many yellow jelly beans there are. All I know is that the remainder of the jelly beans in the bag are yellow. I know other things about other colors in the jelly bean bag, but I don't know anything about my yellow jelly beans. So first, I have to figure out how many are blue. So take a look at this sentence right here where it says 1/5 of the jelly beans are blue. How would you figure out how many blue jelly beans you have? We would multiply because we have this word of right here. So I would do 1/5 of the jelly beans. Well, there are 50 jelly beans, so I would do 1/5 times 50. Pop a 1 under there, then we got tops times tops, bottoms times bottoms, which is 50 over 5, which gives me 10. So we have 10 blue jelly beans. Then it says 3/10 of the jelly beans are green. So how would you figure out how many green jelly beans there are? Well, of means multiply, and then I just multiply by the number of jelly beans that there are. So I have 3/10 times 50. Just pop a 1 under there. 3 times 50 gives me 150. 10 times 1 gives me 10. Cross off those zeros, and that's 15 divided by 1, which gives me 15. So I know that 10 are blue, 15 are green. How do I figure out how many are yellow? Well, first, I need to combine my 10 plus 15 to figure out how many are not yellow. So that gives me 25 are not yellow because 10 are blue and 15 are green. So if I know how many are not yellow now, and I know the total, how do I figure out how many are yellow? I would subtract my total from how many are not yellow to figure out that there are 25 yellow jelly beans.